Hi, this is Dave Brubaker speaking, and this will be a presentation about the United Financial Freedom MoneyMax account and how to make the MoneyMax account work for you. What is the MoneyMax account? Well, it's a way to pay off all debt in as little as one half to one third the time, with no change in your budget, no debt consolidation, no refinancing, and you don't have to go out and get a second job. You're going to think it's magic as you look at it, but folks, it's just math. A little bit about our history. The owners of United Financial Freedom are Skylar Whitman and John Wishenko. They had built one of Utah's fastest growing mortgage companies, and they became aware of a debt epidemic in America. Their mortgage clients returned every 3 to 4 years to refinance, and then they used that equity that they took out of their home to buy boats, cars, vacations, created debt. They returned 3 to 4 years later to refinance again and got deeper in debt. They kept spending and kept coming back to refinance. This was good for John and Skylar's business, but they were concerned because they had both experienced the pain of foreclosures in their childhood, and they did not want their clients or their clients' children to have to go through that. So in 2002, they focused on finding a cure for their clients' debt. They looked for a program that rapidly paid off clients' mortgages, and they found two things that interested them. First of all, Australians pay less interest than Americans. And second, in England, many homeowners use a program developed by Sir Richard Branson and the Bank of Scotland called the One Account, but it had some problems. You must have a mortgage, you must have good credit, it requires refinancing, which costs money, and it has to be a variable interest rate, and it lacks technology. So, not feeling comfortable with that, John and Skylar worked with mathematicians and IT people, and in 2004, they launched the first version of the MoneyMax account. It was an award-winning debt elimination program, the first of its kind, and in 2005 and 2006, they test marketed it to 400 homeowners. By 2006, they launched United First Financial. They had thousands of people paying off their homes in as little as one third to one half the time, and thousands more were starting their journey to financial freedom with the program, and it was combined with a HELOC, that's a home equity line of credit. They received national recognition. Ernst & Young, for example, had voted them as Entrepreneur of the Year in 2008 for the Utah region. Now, Ernst & Young doesn't give this out like candy. They go through an intensive due diligence. They look at their financials, their longevity, their retention, their product viability, and the impact that their product has on consumers. They've given this same award to Apple and eBay, Starbucks, and Microsoft. They were also featured in many business publications over the years. This is disruptive technology, just like Twitter and eBay and Amazon disrupted technology, and Hulu, Facebook, Apple, YouTube, Venmo. So did United Financial Freedom. They are the only one of their kind. Now, our greatest challenge came in 2008 when there was a global financial meltdown. Banks stopped issuing HELOCs. That was the home equity lines of credit. But we never stopped servicing our clients. They had 70,000 people sign up to use the program, and they had spent $19 million then on research and development. They learned how to do the program without having to have a HELOC, so we're no longer relying on the HELOC. They relaunched the company as United Financial Freedom, and they can now help people with bad credit and no mortgage. Truly a debt elimination program. So how do we pay off debt early? Well, in traditional banking, they'll suggest that you consolidate for a lower monthly payment, or refinance to a lower interest rate, or go on a biweekly payment plan. Now, the MoneyMax account system is totally different from that. It does not require any refinancing. There's no standard of living change. You don't have to go out and get a second job, and it's not biweekly. which only cuts off 7 years. That may sound like a lot, but for many of our clients, they pay their entire mortgage off in 7 years. This is not debt roll down, and it's not a concept or a theory. This has been proven with a 15-year history. Now, question, why is a bank name on the largest buildings in every city? Did you ever wonder that? Well, they pay interest to earn interest. Very simply, on our savings, CDs, and money markets, they pay us less than 3% interest. But then on our credit cards, loans, and mortgages, they earn more than 6% interest, as we'll soon see. This is called arbitrage in banking. And what the Money Max account helps us to do is to let arbitrage work for us. So one of the ways that banks earn a lot of money is through mortgage amortization. So here, let's look at a $200,000 mortgage at 6% for 30 years. The payment is fixed. It's $11.99 every month for 30 years. Now, if a mortgage starts in September, the interest is going to be $1,000. The principal is $199. In October, then, our interest is $9.99. The principal is $200. Notice the difference of only $1. In November, another dollar, $9.98 and $201. $9.97, $202. And then by February, we're paying $9.94 interest and $205 principal. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors. We've paid out $7,194. $5,983 went into the bank's pocket as interest, and $1,211 went toward principal. So we only reduced our mortgage by $1,211. Let's not look at it this way. For the first month, paying out $1,000 interest and $199 principal, that's 83% interest. And yet we think we're got a nice little 6% interest loan. By year 5, we've paid out $71,946, and we only have $13,891 in equity on our principal. That's $58,065 paid in interest. And then by year 21, we've got $100,000 equity, and we still owe $100,000. We're only at the halfway mark. It took 21 years to get to the halfway mark. By year 30, we've paid off $431,000 we paid to the bank. $231,677 went to interest. So really our loan with the bank was not 6%, it was 53% interest. Let's look for a little larger mortgage. How about a $300,000 mortgage at less interest, only 4%? In the first year, it's 69%. In the year 5, it's 63%. Year 10, we're paying 55%. And in year 15, we're paying 46%. There's got to be a better way, and we have created a better way. So let me ask you a question. Is it smart to take out a 10% loan to pay off a 6% debt? The first time that question was posed to me, I said, of course not. That doesn't make any sense, but I wasn't taking into consideration that we're dealing with different types of debt. There could be a simple interest, a compound interest, and there could be amortized interest. So let's take a look. Let's borrow $1,012 at 10% from our bank, and then let's use that to apply to 5 principal payments on our mortgage. So if we pay October's principal, we save $999. November's principal, we saved $998. December, $997. January, $995. We were able to save $4,983 in interest with just $1,012. And that's taken off the back end of the loan. I don't know about you, but to invest $1,000 to save $5,000 sounds like a pretty good move. Now, how do we pay off debt early? Well, our program causes every dollar you make to either earn interest or cancel interest. There are 4 requirements to participate in the Money Max program. You have to have debt, you have to have a checking account, you must have a savings account, and you must have the MMA program. Now, there's a 5th option. It's optional, but if you could have an advanced line of credit, it could cut off an additional 6 months to 1 year. That would be a home equity line of credit, or a personal line of credit, a business line of credit, a credit card with a $300 minimum. Now, these are called open-end loans. The bank adjusts principal balances and interest charges every time a payment is received. It could be multiple times per month, and they adjust the balance and the interest immediately. You can do this program with just a checking and savings account, as we will see. But the MoneyMax software utilizes 8 money saving strategies. Let's just look at 4 of them. Interest accumulation, and another one is interest float. Number 3 is interest cancellation. And number 4 is strategic payoff. So here's one possible scenario. Let's look at John and Rebecca Jones. They've got an income into the home of $5,000. Their expenses are $4,800, which gives them a discretionary income of only $200 a month. What can we do with $200 a month? Well, on our liability structure, we're going to keep this simple. The mortgage is $200,000, and they have a credit card at 12% interest, and there's nothing on it right now. Now, the more debt a person has, the more effective this program can be for them. So we're going to keep this real simple. And let's look at the first principle, interest accumulation. So in month 1, we put our paycheck into our savings account. Our checking account. So we have $5,000 in our checking account, and the program says, well, that's not doing us any good there. So let's move the $5,000 over into our savings account at a 3% APR. Again, you're going to say, well, that's not very much. But you know what? If you compound that monthly for 360 months, 30 years, you'd be surprised at what a difference that can make. So we're now going to pay our bills with our credit card. About $4,800 worth of bills. We'll pay our mortgage with our credit card. We'll use the credit card to make the car payment and our groceries, and we're going to pay our utility bill. And so we now have paid our mortgage, and so as you can see, it's no longer $200,000. It's going down to $199,801. We've knocked $199 off the principal. And after 1 month in our savings account, we've made $12 on our $5,000. This is called interest accumulation. This is the first principle. The second of these principles is interest float. We're going to put our $5,000 into our checking account again. Now, we've been using our credit card for 30 days, interest-free. So we're going to have to do something to not pay interest. And we've been floating for 30 days. We've been using the bank's money. And so now we're going to take $4,800 of our income, and we're going to pay that off to save ourselves interest charges. We're going to take, the program was going to tell us to take $3,789 out of savings and put it into checking, which will leave us a $1,223 reserve. It always leaves a reserve for us. And that leads us to the third principle of interest cancellation. So the program is going to tell us to take $39.89 out of our checking account, and let's put it on principal of our mortgage. We'll eliminate 18 payments and save $18,000. This is interest cancellation. So what happens after we apply $3,898 to principal? Well, before we had a $199 loan balance. Now we have a $195,000 loan balance. We reduced our balance by $3,989. Our payments remaining Before we had 358 payments, now we're going to have only 340 payments left. So we eliminated 18 payments, and instead of having $231,000 of interest, we now have to pay just $212,000 in interest. So we wiped out $18,855 in interest. Now, if you went into the marketplace and you invested $3,989 that grew to $18,855, you would tell your friends that you received a 372% return. Folks, it works the same in the debt world as it does in the investment world. So you could essentially say that by reducing your balance $339.89, you got a 372% return on your money. Think about that. The fourth principle here is strategic payoff. Which one do we pay off first? We've got a mortgage of $200,000. We've also got a student loan for $10,000, and we've got an auto loan at 7%. We've got a furniture loan at 5%, and we've got a balance on our credit card of $8,000 at 6.5%. Which do we pay off first? Well, first of all, we've got a lot of different options to choose from, and the program will make that decision for us. It depends on whether, again, we've got amortized interest, compound interest, simple interest, the length of the loan, and so forth. And it decides which one to pay off first. Now, John and Rebecca Jones' summary, they've, with the Money Max system, paid off their house in 15.7 years versus the 30 years. And instead of paying $247,000 in interest, they only paid $125,000 in interest. So John and Rebecca saved $121,886 plus 14 years of mortgage payments that they can stash away for retirement. Wow, what a difference. So here's a question I asked myself when I first looked at this. I said, well, why can't I just make additional principal payments myself? Well, I've since learned that the Money Max program computes the optimal time to leverage money and float and cancel interest to pay off all your debt in record time. It sounds simple, but the formula has millions of lines of code. Many different algorithms work hard all the time. Folks, it is just beyond human reasoning. It's beyond human logic. The human mind cannot do what the Money Max program does. Now, banks have relied on this type of math and timing to make money work for them. It's now your turn to bank like a bank. Make money work just as hard for you. We call this your financial GPS. If you want to get somewhere in your car, GPS tells you where to go, and if there's a problem, it recalculates. Just like a GPS, the MMA constantly recalculates your financial plan, and it takes every single aspect of your financial situation into account. For example, do you have multiple streams of income, or is your income fixed, or is it commission-based? If so, we need to go in and change the numbers in our system each month. It looks at how much you owe and for how long. Are the interest rates fixed, adjustable, simple, amortized, compound? It anticipates what's coming down the road, things like vacations or holiday spending, tax returns, or even weddings for our children as they grow older. It takes into consideration unexpected expenses such as medical bills, and it calculates and lets us see into the future where we will be. So the Money Max account guides you to pay off all debts, makes complicated decisions for you, stays focused where humans can let their brain become unfocused at times and get off on a side road. But this tracks success, it builds wealth, it knows the exact day and year that you will be debt-free. The Money Max account does not move money, it does not pay your bills, there are no account numbers, there's no social security numbers, no one has access to your money. And it works as an account register, and it wants to know just two things: how much money is coming in and how much money is going out. It tracks and maintains your monthly budget. It requires about 10 minutes a month to update to keep yourself on track. Now, as far as our success is concerned, folks, over the last 15 years, we have, as of November, eliminated $2 billion worth of total debt. Imagine that, $2 billion worth of consumer debt has been liquidated because of the MoneyMax account. This is our crusade. Get America debt free. We have guarantee results. Just follow the system. There is a 100% money back guarantee offered by the company if the program does not work exactly as promised. So you might be asking, well, will it work for me? I don't know. We really can't say for sure. It depends on a lot of different variables. Everybody's situation is different. So the only way to find out is to schedule a free financial analysis with the person who referred you. Then you'll know. So your next step is to get a free financial analysis, and it will look something like this, and it will give you an exact look into the future to see if in fact this makes sense for you. So get back to the person who referred you to this presentation, get your free analysis so it can help you make a decision as to whether this is a good idea for you. Thank you.